Hi, let us understand the folder structure of Apache Tomcat. Tomcat can be downloaded in these formats, that is either as a zip file or as a tar file. I have downloaded the Tomcat and unzipped in this specific location. It's going to have these folder structures, that is bin, conf, lib, log, temp, web apps and work by default. The location where the Tomcat is unzipped, we call it as Catalina home. That will be set as an environmental variable within the system. So if I get into the advanced system settings, environmental variables, I have set the Catalina home where the Tomcat is installed. And the another variable that needs to be set, we call it as Catalina base. That will come into picture if we want to have multiple installation of Tomcat within the same system. That we will be discussing it as a part of advanced configuration of Tomcat. If the Catalina base is not set, automatically it will pick the value that is set for Catalina home. Now we will have a quick understanding on the folders available within the Catalina home. The first is the bin folder where I am going to have the executables to stop the server. And the script will be available both for Windows and Linux systems. As a part of advanced configurations, we will be seeing how to use each and every script available within this specific bin folder. Within the conf folder, we are going to have the configuration files and the DTD, we call it as XSD, to manage and control the Tomcat installations. The important configuration file within this specific folder is server.xml, where I am going to have the entire configuration details about this specific installation. And I will be having a global web.xml to control how the applications deployed within the installation should behave. The next folder I am going to have is the lib folder, where I will be having all the resources that needs to be used by the Tomcat for the execution of Servlet and JSPs. Basically, I am going to have the Servlet and JSP API jar files within the lib folder. By default, the lib folder will be added as a part of the class path of Tomcat. The default installation will be using this specific logs folder to log the Tomcat logs as well as the logs of the application deployed within this specific installation. And this can be customized and configured if required. Every application that is deployed within the installation would get added into this web apps folder. So that means I do have these applications, that is docs, examples, host manager, manager as a part of this specific installation. The temp will be used by the JVM to store the temporary files while executing the applications. Work directory will be used by the applications deployed within this specific installation to store the temporary files. To precisely say, the JSPs will be compiled. The compiled and generated class file of the JSPs will be stored within this specific work folder. This is a high-level understanding on different folder structure. Now I am going to configure this specific installation to quickly start with the Tomcat. I am going to get into this Catalina home within the PowerShell. Let me get into the Catalina home location. The base location where Tomcat is installed, we call it as Catalina home, and I do have Java home as well, where I do have the JDK 8 installed. So the two basic requirements for Tomcat to run, that is JDK as well as Catalina home is set. Now I can use the startup script within the bin folder, bin startup.bat. That will use the Catalina base and home where the Tomcat is installed and the other environmental variables, and the Tomcat would get started. Now I can access the web UI from the port 8080. As it is deployed locally, I can use localhost and then the port 8080. Yes, Tomcat is running, and I can check the status of the applications as well as we do have the initial page. That means the Tomcat installation as a local host is successful. In a quick summary, we have seen what are all the different folders available within Apache Tomcat zip file and how to set the environmental variable Catalina home and start the Tomcat.